Because it looks
Oh,
like
yeah,
that very
just keep it
question
natural,
time.
yeah.
No,
What to
just
do?
a question time setting.
We'll keep them sitting there, and you just carry on the questions as it goes round, right? So rather than move it about. So we'll just turn our chairs when the next question comes in. But it just means that you need to rotate your footage. Yeah. So just it's recording. We ready?
So the mic's on.
The mic's on. It's on.
So is it light? Does it tell you?
I don't know. It just says S and that.
chairs here.
That's one.
That's on. It's on. It's on.
Hello. So I heard you were speaking about mental health and entrepreneur stuff. How does those two subjects link together?
Well, because we're entrepreneurs to start with, so
Oh, right,
we were
okay.
looking at that as a starting point.
Mm-hmm.
But the mental health and well-being, mental health and mentorship,
Yeah.
right, is kind of separate to all that. But they're all individual. But we were trying to keep a rhythm in which. No, it's just the wrong word. Don't help me out there.
What was that? Let me see.
Hold on, wait.
Are you starting?
Yes, let's cut that one again, right? Yeah. So
So I heard you were speaking about mental health and entrepreneur stuff. How does those two topics link together?
yeah, so both of us are entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So that was the starting point. The rest of it is mentorship, mental health, development, all these things that we faced when we were younger.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
It's not really, well, it kind of relates to our life stories, but it's more to give that scope for other people that are going through things as well. So it's not really entirely about entrepreneurship, but it kind of touches on that because some of the hardships entrepreneurs do face that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the podcast is all about entrepreneurship. It's actually for development. Because I wasn't an entrepreneur all my life. I was always working. I had a job. I had all this kind of thing, just like everybody else. But I developed myself to become an entrepreneur eventually.
All right.
Maybe similar to yourself. I'm not too sure, but I think did you ever work before? Were you or did you kick off as working for yourself from start?
No, I worked for a couple of my mates. So I worked in the Barras in a sports shop for a few years, part time. I had problems going on in the house. I had issues in the house. I lost my two brothers, and after the death of the eldest one, he had a job, and I took over his job. And then after that, I had a vision, and I just persevered.
I get where you're coming from with the loss. Obviously, that's how it ties in with the entrepreneurship.
Yeah, but the loss actually put me into a position to do it. Otherwise, if the loss wasn't there, I would probably be, I don't know.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to say, but if the loss wasn't there, then I would just be like, I don't know, maybe
Maybe down the
working
same route.
for someone else again, or maybe working for a company. I don't know, but the me becoming an entrepreneur was because of there was a something that was missing from the family, so I took that position. And then I rattled it and then did what I had to do.
Yeah,
No,
so
well done.
basically, there's always a drive. So sometimes you could be working, doing the kind of run of the mill thing,
Mhm.
carrying on life as normal, and then obviously there's issues that happen. But for me anyway, and for what Navi said, there's always a drive somewhere. Something's getting to you, something's bothering you, something's happened, and it's driven you to the next stage. And that next stage for us, obviously, because I was working for IBM. I was working for these massive kind of computer manufacturing places, and there was something driving me to get out of that. To do something to try and. But
You felt
it
there
could
was
be
better
traumas.
there.
It could be traumas. I mean, like you say, he's lost two brothers at a young age.
Yeah.
I lost my father at a young age. I was 4. My father passed away, so I had an elder brother, but obviously it's difficult. So there's always a drive. There's something driving you to that next thing, and whatever that may be.
Pain is success.
Sorry?
Pain can be
Pain
success
can
if you
be
make it
a
success.
100%. Anybody else?
I'm done with the questions for the now.
So, as a young female, how would your podcast help someone my age?
Well, I think me and you had a wee chat over there earlier on, and I think you were asking questions, and I mean, we've not got the solution to every problem that young people face, but we can talk. I think talking's a good starting point. I think just to be able to talk without family giving you, you know, advice based on their thinking and their understanding of who you are, talking to sometimes a stranger. Just having a chat. We were just having a chat there. I don't know you, but we were talking. There was good energy. I think you're quite sincere, and I'm sincere. So maybe just having that chat, I might just say one thing that might help you. You might say one thing that will give me a little bit of an understanding of what young people are going through. So we're not here with definite answers to what's relatable, but chatting's a good starting point. And I think I could probably advise people on the insomnia. I've got an understanding of how the body and mind works when it comes to not being able to sleep. I think sleeping's a problem. I think sleeping right now for young people is a problem. I see young kids, they're just gaming till about 4 or 5 in the morning. And I think girls are watching their TikToks being influenced by whatever they're seeing. The algorithm's got them, and the algorithm is the enemy, for me anyway. So my job is to highlight these things.
Yeah, I mean, I second that as well. I think part of it is obviously just the talking. Second part is being honest about it and sincere. Sometimes when you talk to people that they don't seem to be, they're not actually honest with themselves, right? And they don't actually own up to certain things. They're not brave enough to speak to other people about it. So they kind of shell things together and they don't want to talk about it, but really they want to do it, but something's holding them back. And I think once you get past that and you can be open, like this open forum, you want to ask a question, something that's bothering you. We don't have the answers, but what we can do is give you something that might relate to something that's going to make it better. We don't know. It all depends on what we know, because we're only two individuals, but we've went through a lot. We've got children, we're husbands, we've been through marriage. Like I said, we've went through some experience. So for the younger people, like somebody like yourself, 21-year-old, how would we help? Well, it depends on what it is. But if you're all open and honest, and it could be low confidence, it could be self-development, and these kind of things that we can touch on, we can definitely help in that. But there could be other things, and it's an open forum. The podcast is going to be open to a lot of questions. So
So, for the people who can't or won't be comfortable to talk about things, what other advice would you give them if they don't want to talk about things, like some of their problems and
Well, they can. What do you mean? How? What's the communication from
no,
them
like
to us?
so, like instead of like for the people that don't like communicating or can't because they're stuck in some type of mindset, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think if they're not willing to self-help, or if they're not willing to make an effort, they have to make an effort. So they can't just be stuck like, I'm not going to speak. They have to speak. They need to build the courage up to speak. So you're saying, you're coming from a perspective where if they don't want to talk, but then
Yeah, or they've gone through things that gives them like problems.
yeah,
Like,
they should seek professional help, because we don't have the qualifications. But if someone's in that state where they can't speak and they're scarred, and they should definitely seek professional help. But sometimes just talking to two people, having a laugh and just talking about life in general, it could be a little bit of a starting point. So in terms of like young people, I think they're going through some difficult times. I think the pressure on them is immense. And I think social pressure as well as electronic pressure is now taking its toll. And you guys, well, we're here to kind of give our pennies worth. We can't give you solutions for everything, but we'll give you the pennies worth. We can just talk about our own experiences. But yeah, you guys are going to get it tough. And it's like, you need to be very, very careful of what you're consuming and sort out your sleep.
Plus, there's no need to be scared if you think that there's something inside you that making it block whatever you want to see. Don't feel scared. That's the main thing. Because there is somebody out there,
To
if
talk.
not them,
Yeah.
somebody else out there that will be able to help you. So you have to take that, whatever is holding you back from talking about it, you don't let that fear hold you back.
Write about it. Write something down for yourself. I just write stuff, like random stuff, and then I burn the book. I don't burn it, but I dispose of it so nobody reads it, right?
You know, he burns it.
But write as write, express, draw, do something. See whatever you're going through, create something positive from it. So you might become you might become an artist just from. Somebody gave some motivational speaker actually spoke about that girl Adele. Adele, she actually went through a breakup, right? And she came out with one. Obviously, she has this.
She wrote about 10 songs about it.
Oh man, but she rocked.
She number ones.
She took her pain. She made it something in it.
She made a lot of money out of that.
There's
But
expression. Find your expression. I'll give you a tip, right? See, as a child, you would have done something that you would have been good at, that you stopped doing. Go back to whatever you did as a child. Could have been anything: sewing, writing, singing, something you would have done but you stopped doing it, and now you're just zombified on your phone.
See the thing that
Just
somebody
took that
touched-
away.
See the thing- see
So
the
now you
thing
need to
that-
go back
see the
to
thing
whoever
that
you
some-
were.
yeah. See the thing somebody touched upon, the entrepreneurship part. Well, I'll tell you something right now. Most of the entrepreneurs, or these big, whoever you want to talk about, these big businessmen or whatever they are, the most creative people, that artists, the ones who draw, the ones who write, the ones who sing, the ones that writing all these songs, and the number one, how you want to put it, the creative people, right? They all have issues, and they've all had traumas, and that's their way of dealing with them, right? So it's what Navi just mentioned, that if there's something that you just can't seem to focus on, and you may be asking for professional help and it's not working, get creative, get working. Because that's one way out of it. And most of these people, most of these folk, everyone, all these kind of pop stars, trust me, they have issues, and they become creative. So they might soak in these issues, but once they become creative, they're actually giving back something to somebody else. And sometimes given if you may be suffering from something, but you know what? There's probably somebody suffering more than you, and they're probably staying silent. Not that I'm saying that what you're suffering with, or whoever's suffering with, is to laugh about or mention. Yeah. So
I was just thinking to myself, like, would you not agree that most people that are suffering will always put up a front
yeah,
to be happy
yeah.
because they don't know how to show that sadness around other people, like it's taking their pride away in a sense.
Yeah. So sometimes there's two types of people. Somebody that's confident, right? Who generally is confident because they've done X, Y, and Z, and they become confident. And then there's a person who kids on there. They put a front on,
Yeah.
right? So deep down in big events, they're good at talking. They're quite confident. If you think like maybe a pop star, for example, if
Yeah,
you just
a
think of somebody like that,
Yeah.
but deep down, see when they close that door, they're the total opposite of that. And the reason why is that they're putting a big front up, and that front is what's the challenge, right? And eventually, what happens
killing
is
them.
yeah, it's killing them. Eventually, what happens? They lose the game. They lose that. So it's not good to put up a front too much, too long, because it's not going to last. So eventually, you're going to have to open up and speak about your fears and speak about the issues and try and relate to somebody that can give you that energy, because sometimes it might not come from anyone else, but can come from somebody who's willing to give it to you.
Can either make you a good person or a bad person, and it's if you can see the difference between that, and you're able to be a good person when you've actually been treated really bad.
Yeah.
That's strength. But if you just turn into the people that have done stuff to you, that is
Well,
No
you're just becoming them, then, aren't you?
and
So
it
you don't
just
wanna
turns
do
into
that.
a tit for tat game,
Yeah.
and it's like playground behaviour.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
And
it's not like a revenge thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you do get, human nature says if somebody's done something to you, or you feel as if somebody has caused a nuisance or caused
Where's the
distress,
peace,
you're going to.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. The thing is, human nature says fight back. You can fight back, but then there's an extent where you stop and say, look, you know what, that's enough, that's it done. Because you remember, whatever you're fighting with against, whoever that is, you're draining your battery, you're draining your energy.
Definitely.
So if you want to keep your battery full, because you're giving them you're giving them that much importance, you're losing yourself in
Yeah.
a way, right? So you give the other person that much importance that you're draining your battery, and you're actually giving them that importance. And you know what? To be honest with you, you're important. So why give them that energy? In fact, draw the line, focus on yourself, keep the energy good. Just because somebody's done one thing to you doesn't mean everyone's going to do it. So keep yourself, give everybody the benefit of the doubt, be happy, ask for guidance, fix yourself, focus, healing, whatever you want to call it. And then the next step is the next step.
And that all ties in with what Navid was
Yeah.
saying, obviously with the social media stuff and with music, and obviously the younger generations that listen to all that, then that's what it's basically showing them. Violence, how to deal with conflict in a total wrong way. And it's about having role models there
Yeah.
that can show us the
See,
difference.
a disturbed society is easy to control. So the fact of the matter is, there are people out there that are toxic and they're negative, and some of them are family members. Some of them are just the way they've been brought up. They can't see any better. But the way I say to myself, it's my story, and I'm the main character. So for me, if you're getting in the way and you're negative, I will give you your due, and then if not, I'll still need to carry forward.
No matter what.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. Because when you're in the grave, everybody's walking away,
Exactly.
apart from your good deeds. So in 100 years, everybody's going to be dead. So why should I waste this sunrise and sunset and the stars and the moon for you? Like, why would I do that? Like, it doesn't make sense. God says, "In which of my blessings
No,
do
he's
you not
right.
see?" You know what I mean?
100%.
Why, like,
right.
God says it. He says, "Look at
This
the
is my
blessings
land."
around you." You want to talk about evidence for God's existence? God exists everywhere. Just have a look. Why can't, like, anyway? What my point I'm trying to make is that, if there is negative people out there, and it could be down to their upbringing, it might not be their fault, but that's not my problem. My problem is, listen, I'm fighting my own demons.
Exactly.
So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up. I'm
Push
just going to
hard
do my
enough.
little thing and then get out of it, and then find peace within myself first and foremost. Solitude gives you peace.
Yes,
For men,
definitely.
anyway. Solitude gives you peace for men. And I'll tell you another thing, by the way, your eyes aren't designed to see what's happening in everybody's home. Your eyes are not designed to look into everybody's home.
And assume.
Your eyes have been given, eyelids to close them when you see something bad. And see, some of the stuff that we are seeing, we shouldn't be seeing them. It's simple. You should be looking at your immediate family, society, your neighbours, right, your work colleagues, doing your little bit, living your daily life, and resting it and feel like you've accomplished something that's other than money and status.
So yeah, sorry, go on.
Just to follow on from that, youngsters nowadays, they seem to be like addicted to their phones and spend all of the time on their phones and don't sort of socialise. Have you got any tips on how to get them more socialising with family members and community and things like that?
I'll let Nav answer that since Navid's the mentor.
So we also started up a boxing group for young kids. And that's been going on now at least 4 or 5 years, right? And we asked the kids, what is it you would? So they go in and they train, and one of the mentors there, the trainers there, actually give them some life tips, and they were asked, what is it you'd like to see here more than what we're already providing? And they went, we'd like our fathers to train with us. So you need to be involved in activities your kids like. So if they like going boxing, go to the boxing, box with them. If they like going cycling, cycle with them. Stop thinking it's other people's responsibility. Sorry?
Some children like rugby, so
Yeah, just like, but be a bit diverse in your thinking. So your question is for family members to help or to get, your kid, he wants you to do something, or you see what he likes, play a game with him or get involved with him, build that bridge. And you've got a really good relationship.
Yeah, I just want to touch on
So
that
you're
because, well, sometimes the father can do that 100%, right? If the child sometimes wants to engage, brilliant. If he doesn't, it's not just the father, but I think there's some children that are openly they're just going to be doing things with everyone anyway. But some children are not like that. They're a bit enclosed. They're a bit, so we get that. But then it's not just the father; it's other family members' responsibility to keep those children under the wing. There's some. So, for example, my son, right, has that. I will do all activities with him. I've been to the gym with Nav with him, do everything with him. I spend a lot of time with him. But then he still needs extra. So what does he need? He doesn't want to spend too much time with friends or whatever because he's got these issues, anxiety, and all these kind of problems. But then it's up to his cousins, his nephews, his family to step up and say, look, this is a child. He's not like the rest of them. He's special. So let's give him the support, give something back that we've got as a natural substance, because we can play with everyone, talk with everyone. So let's give something back. But you know what the problem is? People are too consumed. They're too consumed on their phone. They're too consumed with trying to make money. They're too consumed with watching this and watching that. No time. But they're missing out the one thing that they shouldn't be consumed in, and that's helping somebody else, because one day they're going to need that help. And who's going to be there for them? Nobody. So it's not just what I've touched on was just the lighter part, which is still deep. It's the father that does it, but then everyone else has got a responsibility around that person to help. Pick up the phone, text, call, do what I want, get everyone rounded up, because it's not just down, because it's a big responsibility for a father as well.
It's a lot, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Because I'm like 24/7.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 24/7, but I'm working a lot. But my son's on the phone.
Yeah.
You've heard him. He's calling all sorts of times, right? And so you've got to be there. But then it's not just down to me, really, is it? Because if I was my son, I'd be saying, Dad, Dad, Dad. But then you look at his maybe other nephews, cousins, or whatever. Where are these guys? So they need to help in, and alhamdulillah, they do. But it's one of these things.
It's so much going on, so much to talk about, and this is just a snippet of everything. So more of an organic chat this was, and it's went so well. Never expected this, but it's a blessing to be here, and thanks for everybody coming, and a lot more to speak about.
And I want to touch on so season 1's called The Awakening.
Yeah, so we just talk about the awakening.
So it's kind of
awaken your mind.
Awaken your mind.
Have a revolution in your mind.
That's it. So it's gonna be something.
So much to speak about, guys.
So a lot of time.
Yeah, so let's do it.
Inshallah, let's do it. We've got 5 seasons ready. We've been signed up by Netflix for season 6.
Remember, if we can inspire
I'm
one.
not saying anything, but there's a movie as well. But anyway, that's way
If
down
we
the
can
line.
inspire and help just one person.
Well, you've inspired and helped my son, so that's one,
Yeah. Well,
and that's 2.
well, if we can inspire someone
Somebody new.
else, I call them
Anyone
customers.
else need inspired?
I call them customers. Aye.
All right.
We'll get some customer feedback from you later on.
Yeah.
You talk about how you
Don't
think
ask her
this.
too much.
No, but obviously, let's just let's end it there, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you very much.